The message came through at 2:13 a.m. My phone buzzed on a nightstand, its screen cutting through the dark like a blade of light. Half asleep, I grabbed it, assuming it was a harmless text from my wife, Jenna. She was in Vegas for a girls' trip. A weekend she promised was nothing more than cocktails, sightseeing, and gossip with friends. But what lit up on my screen jolted me wide awake. A blurry selfie filled the display. Jenna, cheeks flushed and eyes glassy, leaning against the arm of a man I knew far too well. My boss, Richard Cole. Behind them, a glowing neon chapel sign blared its message, and both of them were grinning, holding up plastic rings like trophies. Beneath the image, her caption cut deep. Married my boss. Don't wait up winking face. For a few seconds, I couldn't move. My chest tightened like someone had set a stone on it. My wife and my boss, two people I trusted most, smiling together like co-conspirators under Vegas neon. At first, I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was a joke, a drunken prank. People do stupid things in Vegas all the time. But her expression told another story. That wasn't a woman playing around. It was a woman who'd forgotten she had a husband waiting at home. The night stretched into eternity. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the photo again and again until my hands trembled. Every memory flashed. Our wedding, her vows, the years of sacrifice and compromise. I thought about all the late nights I'd spent trying to earn Richard's respect. How Jenna used to show up with dinner, telling me how proud she was. Now she was flaunting herself beside him for the world to see, as if I'd never existed. By dawn, I drafted a dozen angry replies, each one sharper than the last. But I didn't send any of them. Anger was too easy. Anger was what she'd expect. So instead, I decided to do something she wouldn't. The first step was control. I called the bank and froze our joint accounts. Then I logged into our shared credit cards and locked them. Vegas isn't cheap. And if she wanted to play house with Richard, she could foot the bill herself. Next, I emailed our attorney, the same one who'd handled my will. I wasn't filing for divorce yet, but I wanted everything ready, every asset, every document, lined up like chess pieces. Finally, I opened a new message and began to type, slowly, deliberately. Hope Vegas was worth it. By the time you come home, you'll have neither a husband nor a house. Tell Richard the First says congratulations. He just inherited more than he bargained for. I hit send. Then came silence. Hours later, her text started pouring in. Baby, it was a joke. You know how crazy Vegas is. Please don't be mad. I was drunk. Nothing happened. You're overreacting. Please answer me. I didn't reply. I let her words pile up like bricks in a wall she built herself. But she didn't know that my phone wasn't the only one that caught her mistake. By mid-afternoon, a co-worker messaged me. Saw Richard's Insta story. Bro, are you okay? My stomach dropped. Richard had posted a video. Him and Jenna stumbling out of that same chapel, laughing, kissing. The caption read, Vegas got wild. Don't tell HR. This wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation, public, permanent, viral. When Jenna finally came home 2 days later, she didn't look like the glowing woman in that selfie. Her mascara was smeared, her hair tangled, her suitcase dragging behind her like confession. Daniel, she whispered, stepping into the living room. Please, let me explain. I didn't move. The divorce papers sat open on the coffee table beside me. Explain what? I asked, my voice cold. That you got drunk and married my boss? Or that you broadcasted to half the city? Her eyes went wide. It wasn't real. The chapel was fake. It was just a joke. I didn't sleep with him. I swear. I studied her face, looking for a hint of real remorse. All I saw was panic. The kind that comes from losing comfort, not from guilt. You humiliated me, Jenna. I said evenly, you dragged my career into your mess. Do you even realize what people at work are saying? Tears filled her eyes. I made a mistake. Please don't end us over this. I leaned forward, my voice sharp and final. You ended us the moment you hit send. The weeks that followed were chaos. Richard called me into his office, sweating through his shirt. Daniel, about Vegas. I don't want your excuses. I cut him off. I want your resignation. He laughed bitterly. You can't fire me. I'm your superior. Not for long, I said, sliding a folder across his desk. Inside were screenshots of every photo, every post, every message. HR already has copies. The board meets tomorrow. His face went white. By the end of the week, Richard was gone. As for Jenna, she begged, twisted stories, told anyone who'd listen that I was being cruel, that it was all blown out of proportion. But the truth had already spread faster than her lies. Invitations stopped coming. Friends drifted away. Her glittering social circle evaporated overnight. One evening, she showed up at my door, mascara streaked down her face. I've lost everything, Daniel, she sobbed. My friends, my job, you. Please, can't we start over? For a brief moment, I almost softened. I remembered the woman I once loved, the life we'd built. But then that image burned through my mind again. Her smile, her arm around him, that cruel caption. And I knew there was no going back. No, Jenna, I said quietly. You already started over. With him. Now you get to live with it. I closed the door. Months passed. I threw myself into work, rebuilding the pieces of my life she'd shattered. Slowly, I found my footing again, not just as an employee, but as a man who refused to let betrayal define him. The last I heard, Jenna was scraping by, bouncing between apartments, still trying to explain that night in Vegas. But me, I was free. Sometimes freedom doesn't come from what you gain. It comes from what you let go. And in letting go of Jenna, I finally found myself.